Bam, we're live. Bam, we're bam, we're live. Good morning. Good to see you guys. Good to hear from you guys. Good to be here with you guys. Yeah, that one. Good to be here with you guys. Greg knows all about friends publicly stabbing you in the back for notoriety. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Sean. Where's Rambler? Uh-oh. Send out the search party. Hey, I have not heard from Greg this morning or last night. I know he has a lot of friends in town. He's doing a big brain symposium. And oh darn, Sevi is late. Mr. Sam, good to see you. So I am not sure. If he is coming. He has a really big crew in town, and I didn't hear from him. I haven't talked to him in 3 or 4 days. Must be gathering his notes from the marathon State of the Union address. Oh, me? You know, it's crazy. So yesterday, President addressed the nation, State of the Union, Congress. And it started at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I was going to pick my kid's dog up at 7:30 or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, I got in the car and I listened to it, and I did the 45-minute drive over the hill. I'm in Santa Cruz, and you got to drive over. It's a little isolated town on the coast of California, and then you got to drive over this hill and this windy road to get to San Jose, Silicon Valley, like where Apple and Amazon are and shit like that. So I drive over the hill. I have 2 of my 3 boys with me, and I'm listening to the speech the entire time, which was wild. It was so wild. It was crazy. And no, I don't. That's a good question. I don't think Seafried is there. This group, I'll tell you about the group Greg's gathering. It's almost everyone who's in the kids' education space. They're mostly people who educate K through whatever. What's a kid these days? 30. I think I'm going to screw this up, but I think one of the most prestigious private schools in the nation is having one of their, and they got a couple campuses, handful of campuses, and I think they're having like a gathering, their annual gathering, and then Greg knows some of those people, so then he invited some other people, and he's hosting some shit at his house. Which when you're Greg Glassman, you can do, and then at that gathering, I think either today or last night or today or tomorrow, very soon, Greg is going to speak to them about critical thinking or broken science, the replication crisis, shit like that. So I drove over the hill to get a dog. I purchased a dog last night, and I got the dog, and then I came back over the hill, and then I was up at 4 in the morning because the dog was crying. Then at 5 in the morning. Then at 6 in the morning. So I'm a complete mess. Let me see. Let me just. Oh, there he is. Holy shit, there he is. Hey.
Good morning.
Wow, thanks for making it. I was just telling the crowd that you have quite the posse in town. I didn't know if we were going to get you alone this morning.
Yeah, I pulled it off.
Yeah, thank you. Great to see you.
Patience.
Hey, I was trying to explain to people. I know you explained it briefly yesterday, but what you have going on there, I probably screwed it up, but I said you were gathering a bunch of people who are formidable in the education space, and you wanted to talk to them about broken science and critical thinking and the importance that it has in early education.
Yeah, there's an event in town being held by Great Hearts, and I've been invited in past years. I don't know if I was this year or not. I assume so. But it's a classical education summit with a whole host of speakers. Goes on for a week, I believe. And the first of the Great Hearts schools is in my neighborhood, and I'm friends with some of the staff and its founder and CEO. And so some of the folks from Hillsdale, I'm making this too long of a story.
No, it's good.
It's a trippy thing I'm doing. Friends from Hillsdale that were coming out and are responsible for curriculum in charter and private schools using Hillsdale curriculum. The gentleman associated with that told me he was going to be out and want to know if there was be a chance to get together and sit during that, and if I was going or not. And I told him I wasn't planning on going, but I'd love to see you. And he goes, well, Thursday night would be best. It looks like a low activity and I could sneak away. So then I just started kind of asking others who I thought would be here. And some were, some weren't, but some of those that weren't said they would come out if they could come over Thursday for dinner. And what I've managed to do is cobble together, and David Kirby, my buddy from Acton Academy, but I've cobbled together an informal taco dinner, parasitic to the Great Hearts event. And I'll have over and some friends like Dan and Harry McDougall, the Wonder Brother lawyers. I've got a good chunk of the offering in public and private charter school, private and charter school, not public curriculum. And those that are here are also keenly interested in classical education. My message to them is, here it is, big drum roll. This is the bit. That there's a defect, or maybe it's an opportunity, or maybe it's an obligation, but there's something amiss in primary education. And the goal of the trivium was grammar, logic, and rhetoric. And the logic portion is in desperate need of an updating. And the punchline is this: the bottom line is this: is that without some modicum, some modest amount of introduction to probability theory, science illiteracy is guaranteed.
Probability.
Without some exposure to probability theory, scientific illiteracy is assured. It's assured. And we have a problem with scientific illiteracy in science, among scientists, with civilians, in law, in medicine, in journalism. It's everywhere. There's almost nobody, very few people have escaped this vast tapestry of interdependent fallacies that constitutes the science behind current university primary research. And I'm being careful with my words. I'm talking about primary research and at the university level. I'm not saying that Elon's rocket ship doesn't work, because it fucking does. That's a different kind of science, by the way. Very different kind of science. And, why probability theory? And the difficulty is this, is that the structure that looks like the probability of A given B, so that's a little p with a parentheses, and then say a capital A, a vertical line, and a B, and that's the probability of A given B. Okay, that structure is the skeletal structure, the logical structure of all scientific models. They all are written in the form of the probability of some outcome given initial conditions.
This is not the probability theory you're talking about. The branch of mathematics analyzing random events and uncertain, assigning numerical.
It is. You want to play AI? Do this. Go probability theory as extended logic.
Okay.
Put that in.
I will.
Watch what improves.
Probability theory. Ooh. Oh yeah. Well, this is it's funny. What it gives me is the reading. It gave me a reading list, but E.T. James, Phil Gregory, Tom Laredo, David McKay, D.S. Silva, Stephen Gull.
That's interesting. I know what that is. You're at the Washington University St. Louis page. I was telling you to do the AI thing.
Oh, I don't even know how to do the AI thing. What do you mean? Go to Chat GPT and do that?
No, it's on the Google search.
Yeah, it didn't give me that. I just typed
You
that
don't have
in.
an AI mode?
Oh, yeah, I do. Jeez, thank you.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm old. I'm old. Extended logic is Bayesian framework where probabilities represent rational degree of belief, plausibility, rather than just physical.
Yeah, and you want to ask it anything. Ask about put in the names. You just watch this. Just from there, put in Laplace.
I don't even know how to spell Laplace.
Laplace, capital Laplace.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Cox, Cox.
Mm-hmm.
Polya, Polya.
POA. Well, say that again. Sorry.
Olya, Polya.
Mm-hmm.
And James, Jaynes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and before that, put Jeffreys, Jeffreys. And tease that thread you've got going with those entries with nothing and no descriptor or anything.
It gives me their little summary on them.
Yeah, anything at the bottom? Is it anything? The proof. Yeah, look at Laplace started the engine. Polly described how it feels to drive. Cox proved it's the only engine that works. Jeffreys built the fuel system. James mapped the entire destination. That's actually fucking brilliant. And let me show you what I have just to show you how little prompting that took. Let's get a tour of the gym. Change buildings.
Dang, that looks nice.
Can you read that?
The power of science is its ability to predict. Man inherits his needs to know even the simple future, and science is the only field with measurable success in that endeavor. Damn, the gym looks good.
It's the fucking nicest gym in the world.
That's the first time I've seen it without kids in it. Oh, because your kids are out of town, huh?
So compare that to what I put up here. Polya saw the relationship between plausible and demonstrative reasoning. R.T. Cox formalized that relationship with a theorem and proof. E.T. James recognized Polya and Cox had generalized inductive and deductive logic with a probability theory rigorously derived, and Laplace and Jeffreys knew this all along. That's the thing. Those two didn't need the theorem or the proof. They were just doing it. And it's a view of probability theory that has hit pay dirt in the sciences. One of the names I saw mentioned earlier was Tom Laredo. What's significant about Tom Laredo is he took radio telescope data from supernova 1987. And the thought in astrophysics is that data had been exhaustively looked through. And he took it again and applied Jane's maximum entropy to it and was able to resolve some extraordinary questions in astrophysics regarding supernovas and detailed information about supernova 1987A that had never been known before. In other words, he kind of revolutionized astrophysics with discovery and method. And what he was able to do was detect and analyze a very, very, very weak coherent signal behind a super strong bunch of noise. And that is very much like taking out of focus photographs and putting them in focus. And it can only be done with probability theory. But more to my point, what I got going here, look, this is the...
Hey, Greg, is that basically he changed the lens at which he looked through something? Like all the it's the same information, he just looked at it differently?
it has to do with it has to do with a theory of uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to do with induction done properly rather than being deductive.
Okay.
The fallacies that plague university primary research, I've got them here on the board. I don't know if you can see that. And I didn't want to turn this into this.
No, I like this. I was kind of hoping it would kind of turn into this. I was excited to hear like what you're going to talk about with these
This
guys.
vast tapestry of interdependent fallacies, we see it in the pursuit of certainty rather than uncertainty. We see it in the deductivism as opposed to induction. We see it in falsification as a demarcation, and that use of modus tollens, and as a demarcation between science and non-science. The ontic probability that it exists as a property of mass or matter is another fallacy. The frequentist fallacy in thinking that probability of hypothesis doesn't have meaning, and all the way to the use of p-values and null hypothesis significance testing is another fallacy. And I'm not talking about minor fallacies. I'm talking about huge fallacies. And the chief amongst them, is this conflation of the probability of A given B, this right here, probability of A given B, 3-line equal sign with a line to it means does not necessarily equal the probability of B given A. They can be the same, but to assume they are is a just outright formal fallacy, famous one. And we see it everywhere. You don't see bad science without it. The p-values are a symptom of it. It's like, you got bit by a bat, now you're frothing at the mouth, insane and afraid of water, but it looks like you got rabies. That's what p-value looks like attached to someone's scientific work.
Oh boy.
And here's the problem. Gerd Gigerenzer, I'll give you another gym tour. Gerd Gigerenzer spent his whole life talking about this, trying to educate physicians, scientists, other educators from the Max Planck Institute. And, in effect, got nowhere. And the problem is something that can be corrected starting with kids. And I'll prove it right here. You ask your kids, if you got little kids, start with young, ask them if they know the difference between the probability of it raining, given that it's cloudy out. Okay, so what you know is it's cloudy. And I say, what's the probability of it raining? Versus, what is the probability that it's cloudy given that it's raining?
Mm.
I have a 6-year-old that readily picked up on it. It's cloudy all the time without raining, she said. But every time it rains, it's cloudy. I'm like, all right. So you shouldn't be tangled up by the prosecutor's fallacy, the diagnostic fallacy of confusing the sensitivity and specificity of a test for its positive predictive value. I've told you before, I've gone through this.
Yep.
Personally, we got a horrible diagnosis from a universal test, and with a shitty positive predictive value, but a high sensitivity and a high specificity. I'd explain to the doctors what the low positive predictive value means.
So is scientific literacy not falling for these fallacies? That's a component of it.
These fallacies, some come from and are justified for a method that produces enormous overcertainty. And this is why most research findings are false. John Ioannidis, 2016. It hasn't gotten better.
God, that's such a strong statement.
Yeah, I mean, I have to take my hat off to that man regularly. And the work that he did originally, the why most research findings are false, is so compelling. It's so strong. And the closer you look, we find that he's being extraordinarily generous. Most is a very, very safe bet, which means the corpus of research is tainted. How do you trust it? And you see the ripple through of this realization. It's not just me. It's maybe I'm the only one talking to you about it. But I've got the editor-in-chief of New England Journal of Medicine, editor-in-chief of a British medical journal, who isn't complaining. A well-known physician with a very forward-looking research face say at a conference 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, maybe 5, that it's time to assume that every clinical trial is fraudulent until you have powerful reason to believe otherwise.
Which completely undermines the phrase peer-reviewed.
Anyone who thought peer review meant something, it's their fault anyways. That's more of science illiteracy. And you can find it. I remember that thing from Real Clear Science, the scientific method bit with the solar system. And John was looking in the space of biomedical research. And what's amazing to me about Gerd Gigerenzer and about David Bakken and hell, even his name will come to me, Lambden, Charles Lambden from Intel Corporation. These guys are from the field of psychology, and the problem that we have with this aberrant mutant science that won't replicate, it's had its origins in the social sciences, chiefly psychology. And these guys called it, very early in the process, there were people that go, you can't do this, it's illogical, this p-value thing. The p-value is it's the probability that nothing won't happen. And as convoluted as that is, it ought to be, because it's a double negative trying to avoid probability. It's the craziest thing. It's just, they got the permanent case of a modus tollens affliction. Everything's going to be done with falsification. And it's all just fallacy on fallacy on fallacy.
Hey, why is this
why is it not totally fixed?
Yeah, exactly. Why hasn't this corrected itself?
I don't think there's any department that wants to say, yeah, man, we're standing on a giant pile of shit. That's what Ioannidis is saying. You made an interpretation of, and broken science, that wasn't my terminology. That's what the people at mainstream media, the 4 or 5 that wrote about Ioannidis and this replication crisis, that was their term.
So it's like what's her name? Sabine Hassenfelder. It's like her book. They put so many billions of dollars in the CERN accelerator, and they don't want to admit that, hey, this isn't actually bringing any fruit because we put so much money in it.
The Sabine Hassenfelder lament is part of this scientific illiteracy, and you find that, believe it or not, a fair margin of scientific illiteracy in some of the deep recesses of theoretical physics, where it's no longer, read her book Lost in Math. It's really cool. She shows up at Nobel laureates' houses with a wine bottle and sits down with them over a couple glasses of wine and some cool music, and listening to what's the latest with them gets them to admit that there's a distinct possibility that everything they've done is complete bullshit. One after another. It's become non-empirical. And oops, that was one of the requirements to be a science. The other thing that's happened is this ontic or ontological probability. Now, let me tell you who isn't confused by any of this, and it's the people that are running with the fucking AI ball. And what's odd about my deep dive into science that won't replicate versus science that will replicate put me on the same course that I would have taken if I wanted to learn as much as I could about AI. I've kind of come to the same place because these guys I mentioned to you, Laplace, uh, uh, Bayes, Cox, Polya, Jaynes, even Claude Shannon, we're in a second phase to the scientific revolution, and it was like someone hit the hyperspace button. And what's happened is that, and Cox did it. Cox proved, um, gave a theorem and then a proof that unified deduction and induction, and and gave us a very very powerful probability theory, extremely powerful. And what it did is it allowed for and check this out, the optimal processing of incomplete information. The optimal processing doesn't process it to something coherent necessarily, but you can rest assured you're not going to do better than that.
Cox gave us that.
Yeah, he did, and he saw it, in Polya. And Cox is a famous physicist before he did this, a physicist of the first order. He knew things. He discovered things and postulated things about electron spin that got ignored for like 15 years, and they come back and like, dude, why didn't you say something? He goes, what do you mean? I wrote the paper. I knew I was right. Congratulations, you figured out I was right. Yeah, but Cox's work is he deserves, for Cox's theorem, I think it deserves every bit the attention that Einstein's relativity and the E equal mc squared did, and will ultimately impact us even more than Einstein's relativity and E equal mc squared. And I'm including the impact of nukes. That we'll see that from Cox's work, and we're living it. It's going on right in front of us.
Dan Guerrero, I did a thesis on the new method for making lens arrays, and it's so easy to see all the flaws, but my committee hardly questioned anything.
That's interesting.
By the way, if you need a world-class example, I couldn't remember, what's it, something Begsley, the Begsley.
Oh, the Amgen UT effort at replicating the foundational works in oncology and preclinical oncology and hematology, that thing.
Yeah,
Begley Ellis.
And Bayer did the same thing. In 2011, Bayer researchers reported a significant reproducibility crisis in preclinical cancer research, finding that they could not replicate the majority, 65 to 75% of published high-impact academic studies they reviewed, meaning studies that are foundational to cancer research. More than half of them weren't replicatable.
But look, I want to be fair about this, and it doesn't change the reality that the underlying research is assuredly shit. There's something going on. The things that were put in the hopper to test, there was a colloquial knowledge that these guys are turning out shit. This doesn't work. And what had happened is the whole reason this effort, the Amgen effort, took place, and the Bayer one, is that people that were in the drug development game were finding, for instance, make cancer drugs just weren't fucking working. And Begley had made a big career out of taking preclinical science, mastering it, finding application in a clinical setting with a pharmaceutical breakthrough, and had a track record of bringing to market many drugs with a bunch of different companies. At Amgen, the suspicion was so great that, and I heard this from Begley himself, and it's not funny that his son is friends with Jim Jordan, of all the fucking things in the world, buddy. But Begley said that there was talk around, or Ellis actually told me this, that there was talk around the bar at night at these conferences as to what lines of research just couldn't be trusted at all, that you don't base anything on them because you're not going to be able to make any science work, and we wonder about them. And so that wonder preceded an investigation And the things likely put up were those that you had leaned on and not found results with. And they actually enlisted the help of the original authors. And what was it? 11% of it would fucking replicate.
And I think it was Ellis. Greg brought Ellis to CrossFit HQ. Begley, sorry. Brought Begley to CrossFit HQ, and he lectured all the staff there in our break room, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Most laboratory cancer studies cannot be replicated, study shows.
They spent $1 billion on that and took a decade. Now, here's the crazy thing. We don't know which studies replicate and which do and which don't to this day. One of them has been cited thousands of times since being found to be non-replicable. In other words, it's still baked in. And this is what? It's preclinical science of...
Why don't we know? Why don't we know?
Because there was an agreement and everyone lawyered up hard that, hey, we're going to retest this shit. Amgen knows. Hey, you know, oncology has another problem, and that's that cancer is a metabolic disease. And it's exceedingly hard to develop treatment for any condition where you have its etiology, the underlying science or biology of the disease process. When you have that wrong, you're not likely to get a good cure. And if anyone needs a simple example within our own lifetimes, the gastric ulcer, before it was known to be found to be caused by H. pylori, something that easily treats with antibiotics, there were other theories afoot, and the treatment typically involved surgery or just suffering, bleeding ulcers. And that's because we didn't know it was caused by a bacteria. Okay, and to not know that cancer is a metabolic disease creates a nightmare scenario of treatment options. And why do we not know that cancer? How come it is not well known that cancer is a metabolic disease? Because it has to be a genetic disease, otherwise someone's going to think that sugar causes cancer. And of course, it doesn't cause cancer because cancer is a genetic disease. And
someone won a Nobel Prize for discovering it was a metabolic disease, and it was disregarded.
The advocates of the genetic theory speak to the mutations in the nucleus of the oncocell, but don't seem to be bothered by the fact that many of the cells within tumors, masses, many of the oncocells have normal nucleus and some have fucked up nucleus, and the manner in which their genetic structure has been altered isn't consistent within any specimen or cell sample. And we can create that same disarray by jiggering the mitochondria. I can fuck with your mitochondria so that you get genetic damage. That's a great one to AI too. Can I damage the nucleus through the mitochondria? Well, as a matter of fact, you can.
President James A. Garfield was shot on July 2nd, 1881 by Charles, I don't know his last name, but died 80 days later, primarily from a massive infection, not the bullet wound itself. Doctors led by Dr. D. Willard Bliss repeatedly probed the wound with unwashed fingers and non-sterile instruments, ignoring antiseptic practices, germ theory proposed by Joseph Lister. The president of the United States died because the doctor, and they told him ahead of time, hey, you need to wash your hands. This is the new way to do it. And his doctor's like, hey, go fuck yourself. 16 different doctors, including Dr. Bliss and Surgeon General, poked at the wound with one probe puncturing the liver. Many American doctors at the time rejected germ theory, subscribing instead to the outdated miasma, bad air theory. Yeah, this guy, the president of the United States, died because the doctors refused to wash their hands.
Many women died in childbirth because of the resistance to washing hands. Do a little dive on that. It'll make you cry.
It's hey guys, that's not even 100 or that was 1860. Yeah, I guess that's 150 years ago. Sorry if Mr. Hobart, good to see you, buddy. Sorry if I missed this. What's a good read to get into Ionati's work?
You know what? I would let Wikipedia introduce me to it. But I even use Wikipedia and say let your introduction be Wikipedia where the Wikipedia part's wrong, but the dive will get you there.
Miss Radow has 3 kids. My 5-year-old quite didn't get the cloudy rain question, but 7 and 11-year-old did.
It's fantastic, and you can spend the rest of the time they're in your tutelage to come up with examples and show how and what that's about. And one of the cool things to do, really cool, is show the Kolmogorov depiction of it with a Venn diagram. And in fact, it's not only a good depiction, it was Kolmogorov's definition of a conditional probability. He defined the probability of A given B as the intersection of the space A and B divided by the conditional, which is the space of B. And you can see if you make a big A and a little b that overlaps a lot of the A, you can see that's probably the cloudy, rainy thing. You can actually see that they're not the same, that there isn't symmetry to the probability of A given B and B given A.
I don't know if this is the one you're talking about. I just yanked
Yeah, that's from that article on confusion of the inverse, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, let's look at I have to hate to go back to look.
Oh,
this
go back. Your show. Let's do it. Go back.
Hold on.
Someone was just telling me about that Garfield death the other day. I was like, holy shit. I had no idea. I didn't know that that's how it happened. Steph, I saw a video that when docs biopsy cancer or tumors, it makes it spread. Is that true? That's so funny you say that, because that was one of my questions early on when someone told me they were getting their tumor biopsied. I said, oh, shit, why would you poke a hole? I think it was my dog had cancer in his leg, and they wanted to do a biopsy on it. And his cancer had, the body had built bone all around to hold the cancer in one place from spreading. And they're like, we want to do a biopsy. And I'm like, hey, dude, why don't you just remove the leg? I don't want you to poke that thing. Won't that let the bad shit out? And they removed the leg, and my Great Dane lived, he was 7 when he had cancer, and he lived till he was 13. They said he was going to die for sure. It was a waste of money, and he didn't. You know anything about that, Greg? The biopsy spread the cancer? Oh,
yeah, I've danced with search engines, with AI a bunch with that. I'll come back to it. But look, here's some A and some B in a probability space. That's a box around it. And the probability of A given B is equal to that intersection area divided by B. And you can see that the probability of A given B is fairly low, right? There's a like just because you're in the probability of A given B, given that you're in B, the probability of A is very high because almost all of B is in A, right?
Yeah.
But the probability of B given A would be that same intersection divided by A, and that's a very different story. Just because you're given that you're in A, the likelihood of being in B is reduced because it's a small chunk of B that's A, right?
Yep.
And you can see that symmetry. And Kolmogorov, who came up with a handful of axioms, use that probability space depiction as his definition for a conditional probability. And that too is something that kids can understand and can see. And you can look at and work with examples with that all the time. But in law, it's the probability of evidence given guilt or innocence isn't the same as the probability of the guilt given the evidence. And that poor woman served some jail time and later killed herself over her conviction for the murder of her 2 children. And it was using that same fucking twisted confusion of the inverse or inverse fallacy. It's got different names, fallacy of transposed conditionals. It's assuming that the probability of A given B is going to have a direct, that's the wrong phrase. to assume that if one's low, the other would be, or one's high, to assume that kind of relationship. It has to be proven, and you do that with Bayes' theorem. You need more pieces. I can teach. I could teach. If like the kids, balance math, Sevi. It's that pre-algebra stuff.
Yep, yep. You got me the books. My kids do it.
Yeah, kids that can do balanced math can be shown a derivation of Bayes' theorem. Fucking derivation. I mean, you don't even need to prove it. I'll derive it. There's your proof. It's cool. But we taught people the basics of logic. I'll give you, for instance, like modus tollens and modus ponens. If A then B is a premise, and the second premise is A, therefore B, that's modus ponens, right? If you write down if A then B, that's A arrow B, so A entails B, and your second premise is A, you can now assume B, correct?
Yep.
And modus tollens is if A then B and the other premise is not B, and then you say not A. And those are taught and have been taught for thousands of years. And it's considered that, and other syllogistic logic since the time of Aristotle has been in, Alexander the Great learned this shit. And it's always been considered an essential part of it's what they call the didactic or the logic phase of the trivium. It's been around forever, and as long as there are educated people. Well, what's happened is that since the time of Polya and Cox and Laplace and Jeffreys and Jaynes, and I mention this because this work has been formalized. They got to, you can pretend like it doesn't exist, and you can say you don't like it, and you can do, you can avoid it, and it takes work to learn it, so that's not hard to do. But this work, the underlying math behind this thing got formalized and came with a proof. So there was a fella that thought he saw a weakness in Cox's theorem, and he made quite a name for himself, saying that there were some assumptions that were made that aren't stated, and then later came back and actually provided the assumptions with his own work, and like, well, Cox was right anyways. It was pretty cool, pretty neat thing. But that work settles a lot of debates and discussion around philosophy of science that have been had forever. In fact, starting with David Hume, we could undo most everything that's been taught in the school system about science. The bad science is even baked into a Supreme Court decision, the Daubert decision. That's why the two lawyers are coming. We're half interested in supporting financially some kind of tort or issue that could get this before the Supreme Court again. But Daubert is a masterwork. The majority decision is a masterwork in logical bullshit.
I remember this 10 years ago when you introduced this. I was blown away by this.
It's a crazy thing. It bakes in falsification. It demands a fallacy in looking at science.
Weren't they defining what makes an expert on the stand? Wasn't that the...
And they felt they had to define what science was and wasn't, and they got it wrong. Bobby Kennedy knows this and knows it well. So did Brothers McDougall. So can AI.
Hey, so is this the ignorance of the Supreme Court? The judges weren't able to... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I saw a video. Go ahead.
Had they read David, on the poking holes in the tumor thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that people that are treating cancer successfully metabolically will ask within minutes of talking to you about your condition about whether they want to know whether it's been biopsied or not. It's a very important, very early question.
And the implication of that is,
I don't want to hang anything around anyone's neck, but if
okay.
this was something I could bet on, the people that know the most about cancer don't like the idea of poking holes in tumors.
Sevon, can you ask Greg if he watched the 60 Minutes piece with RFK Jr. and former head of the FDA?
No, but I would.
It's probably going to be the gruesome details of how much bad science there is. I was going to say fraud. They wouldn't fund those college. They wouldn't fund those college students' research for Siegfried. Who wouldn't? Does Siegfried get a lot of government funding?
No.
No. And his path is viewing cancer as a metabolic disease. Is it wrong when I treat childhood cancer at work knowing cancer is metabolic? I struggle to not blame the parents.
I don't know what you do. I don't, maybe this is why I think the answer lies in primary education. I've already got my kids. So it's what came up the other day, but they go, I know, there's no free shit. They fucking get it. It was something Mom Donnie was offering. Hey, we have a friend that works for a billionaire who's saying, if everything's going to be free in New York, we're probably paying you too much. Sounds like a call for reduction in salary, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, you had a Great Dane too. My Great Dane died from cancer in his chest, shoulder area, and I didn't let them biopsy it. Yeah, eventually it spread to my it did spread to my dog's chest, but he had all these tumors all over his rib cage, but he still lived, and he lived a great life with 3 legs. Still took him to the park every day, took him to the beach. He eventually just got so weak he couldn't stand, pissing and shitting himself. Mr. Lange, A and B have officially confused the shit out of me. P. Greg is drinking out of microplastics. Yeah, Greg had his semen tested recently. It's nothing but microplastics. He just shoots plastic.
And AL3 plus. That's a new thing to worry about. And in the can, we got both. We got the aluminum AL3 plus form and microplastics.
I'm going to see who's still on the Supreme Court.
Look at where I'm at, Sebi. I'm
Clarence Thomas. But real quick here, Clarence Thomas is the only current Supreme Court justice who was serving on the court in 1993. He was appointed in 1991. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. And that's when Daubert happened, by the way. That's why I looked that up.
I'm approaching 70 years old. I have no health complaints. And life expectancy is given what it is. I mean, I'm seeing the finish line without medical treatment. And I think that's the Nobel Prize in running your life.
Yeah.
I'm on no prescription medications. I don't want any prescription drugs. I'm not doing any screening. I'm not looking for disease. I'm not worrying about disease. It's important to me that disease play a small part in my life. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to not go to the hospital ever again too.
I tell my kids, listen, I don't mind you hurting yourself. I don't want to go to the ER with you.
Right.
That's my problem. Like badly, I don't.
Kind of along that same subject, we just got a new dog yesterday, and he's the world's smallest dog. And I can't, I didn't see this coming. I'm so nervous that someone's going to step on him. I'm so nervous someone's going to step on him and break a bone. I do not want to go to the vet. I have that Japanese rocking chair, that minimalist rocking chair that you got me in Portland like 15 years ago. Like what? And I told no one's allowed to sit in this chair
Oh,
ever again.
the aluminum and canvas one.
Yeah, it's like my favorite chair. I sit in it every night, and I'm like, hey, no one's allowed to sit in this chair until this dog is like
You
for
should
the
fold
next
it
year.
away.
I know. I'm afraid. Good point. I should fold it up and put it away. I'm so afraid someone's gonna sit in it, not see the dog, and roll over him and fucking snap his neck off or something. He's tiny, dude. He's like this big. It's a wiener dog, the dachshund.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I feel like I have to get another dog like right now to protect it. I'm afraid like a gopher is going to beat its ass in the yard. You know what I mean? Come out of the hole and drag it down under.
Did it come in the mail or something?
No, my buddy breeds him in Iowa, and he had an event here in California. So he flew in last night, and me and the boys went over to the hotel and grabbed him.
That's cool.
Yeah, the boys are in. We were up all night with the thing fucking crying, and everyone was up at 6 waiting for the dog to get up. And
I love it.
yeah,
We're getting Robbie a hedgehog for her birthday.
like a real animal hedgehog.
Yeah, I kept lucking out because we kept getting turned on to breeders that didn't have any, but it turns out this breeder in Tucson, the closest of all of them we found, has a shit ton of them.
That's a legit pet?
Yeah.
This thing looks like a porcupine, dude.
They're cool. We saw one in the Seychelles, and I caught it with a magazine. It was running alongside the golf cart. I just reached out and scooped it.
Pygmy hedgehogs are generally low maintenance, quiet, and solitary, making them good for apartment living with a lifespan of 4 to 6 years. They require at least 2 to 4 square feet of ideally non-wire floor level space along with running wheel. They need to be kept warm, fed high-quality cat food. I have a good feeling you're not feeding yours cat food. What do they eat in the wild?
I don't fucking no idea.
Whose idea was this?
We got friends with them, Sevi.
Hey, dude, it's illegal in California.
Yeah, you can't buy BBs either.
Oh, this is crazy. They cost $200 to $300.
I can't get the salt gun Amazoned to California.
Yeah, I do. I bought Avi one for Christmas, and it's a shit one. You got to like get on top of the fly to kill him.
What I do is I have them shipped to Idaho or Arizona, and then smuggle them into California to give away.
They aren't naturally cuddly, but can become tame and inquisitive and patient with handling, making them rewarding for those prepared for their unique needs. Quiet, low maintenance, nocturnal activity. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Prickly. Their quills can be problematic for small children or those seeking a cuddly pet. You need access to an exotic vet. It's good for people who work 9 to 5 who want an active nighttime companion.
You know what I should get her instead is the mini fridge she wants for her room.
Yes. With a bunch of water and that'll serve up microplastics.
Yeah.
Wow. I had a mini dachshund too, and it will be fine. They learn to get out of the way.
Have you looked at the Mr. Aluminum book yet?
No, but I got it written on a note in my office. I need to do that.
Here. When are you coming around?
Sooner than later. I'm ready. The kids are ready.
What's the weather like there?
Oh my goodness, dude. You won't believe what happened here. It poured, right? It poured for like 5 or 6 days, and it was freezing cold. And now it's been overcast for 2 days and so warm. It is so, probably people on the East Coast would laugh. but it's like 70 degrees and humid here. The last 2 days have been nuts. I went out this morning and it was sprinkling, and I was just in my underwear watching the dog piss on the lawn, and, like, I wasn't cold at all. It's, like, warm. The concrete's warm. The weather here is so nice.
Good. It is here too.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the high 80s.
We went to that, jiu-jitsu tournament. Both Ari and Joseph did good. Joseph beat probably one of the top 5 best kids in the world, 7-0. Crushed him. It was cool. It was a hell of a fight. It was stressful.
Good.
Yeah, I was pretty glad when it was over, but made the 2-hour drive to Sacramento, stayed the night, woke up in the morning. He's pretty happy.
So they both got gold.
No, Ari got silver. What's crazy is Ari beat the hardest kid in the division, and then the next 2 kids who he was going to fight in the finals, he'd beat both of them easy before, and in the finals he lost to the kid 0 to an advantage. So basically 0-0, but this kid went for a move that he got an advantage with. Not even a point. Where should I start with homeschool curriculum?
You know, Heidi, the critical thinking company, I would look at their grade levels and buy the bundled set at their grade level and go to Critical Thinking Co. But in terms of it, a one-stop shop, if I have to speak to someone who's got, they're just outstanding, singularly unique in their offerings. And look at the bundles by grade level, Sev.
Like full curriculum?
Yeah, there's a bundle.
Like 6th grade, here we go. 11 and 12.
And go down, scroll down. I think they'll show the bundle where you buy the whole set for the grade level.
I'm sure it's here somewhere.
There on
Oh, full curriculum. Yeah. Here's the full curriculum for a computer. Oh, maybe they have it as a
bundles down there. Take your mouse down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bundles. And now you look at a grade, scroll down or pull one of the grades up.
If I may say this too, if your kid,
there's like it's so small I can't read it, but you have all of those are given in a grade level. So grade 6, you get all those books. Okay.
And I would say this, if your kid is grade 6, I would get him grade 5 and set your kid up with success. I would definitely set your kid up success. Make that shit easy at first, and they'll just blow through it.
Their stuff is unprecedentedly good, and it all has this advantage across every topic. It's a skill acquisition. You know, it falls nicely into qualitative or quantitative thinking, and so there's no you're not training to be a Jeopardy champion, right?
Yeah.
Not memorizing the capitals of states for reasons you can't explain.
Yeah, this language arts bundle is sick. Word root.
The Pattern Explorer series, any of the stuff by Femiano is incredible, and that includes fractions. He's one of the balance math guys. This balance math, you get kids doing algebra without ever saying X. It's pretty cool. It's really get to backdoor that thing.
Mr. Lange, fungus in your grass everywhere with the weather change. You mean mushrooms? Lots of mushrooms. Should I have the dog watch out for mushrooms? Thank you. She's into 2nd grade, and I'm starting homeschool this year. Oh, you're stoked.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did
it'd be lazy, easy fun to just work through all of the grade level bundle from Critical Thinking.
Did you see any of the State of the Union?
No.
There was a moment where he looked out over the crowd. Ilhan was screaming and yelling the entire speech. It was pretty wild. She was noticeably disturbed. She looked almost psychotic at one point. But he looked over the entire crowd and he said, "Hey, I want to do a little, test here. Um, if you put legal American citizens over illegal aliens in the country, those of you who put the legal citizens before illegal aliens, please stand up." And all the Republicans stood up, and not a single Democrat. It was quite a moment. And at another
The illegal aliens is the hill to die on for the Dems, and you know why?
for votes,
That's all.
it was pretty wild.
They don't want. Did you hear Newsom speaking to black people?
Yeah, I did see a quick shot of at first. I did think he was speaking.
He's
Yeah,
stupid enough to not know that he should hide his repugnant view that blacks are stupid.
yeah.
He's stupid enough to not know he needs to hide that.
People are saying, I saw a quick flash of the audience, and there were definitely some white people for sure in the audience. People are saying, "Oh, he wasn't talking." His defense is he wasn't talking to black people. Another thing he said, by the way, in the State of the Union, he said, "Hey, I have a lady in the audience," and he points to this young lady in the audience, and she said, and she's with her parents, and she said this lady was taken away from her parents because her parents wouldn't acknowledge her as a boy, and she's a girl, and so the school took her away and put her in a group home for boys, and it's clear it's a really attractive, pretty young lady. You know what I mean? And the parents had to fight to get their daughter back, but she went through incredible trauma as the state of, I think it was Maryland, tried to transition her and stole her from her parents. And we have to pass the law now to stop anyone from taking their kids away from their parents who won't acknowledge their non-biological sex. And the Republicans went crazy, and the Democrats didn't say a fucking word. And then he looked over at them and he goes, "You people are crazy. All of you are crazy." It was a pretty wild moment. I don't know how anyone doesn't see that. It's almost scary. I don't know if you saw this either. I thought this was a joke. I sent this to my friends this morning, and I said, "Hey, I feel really stupid asking you this, but is this real?" Did you see the Democrats did you see the Democrats had like a party going on at the same time?
I heard they were going to do something. I was
Yeah.
picturing like Bad Bunny and
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I can't find it. But basically it's a room full of people in costumes, and they got like they have people in furries on the stage, and they have representatives and Congress people talking, and it looks like a Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. Yeah, inflatable animals. I wish I could show you the image. And I'm like, and I thought it was just bullshit on Twitter. And these people are fucking nuts.
What'd your mom think?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her. I mean, she really fucking hates the guy. So I don't know if she can even, I don't even know if she can watch it. I gotta show you their party. It truly looks like Pee Wee's Playhouse. It is bonkers.
Hey, the kits for making molecules have crazy improved.
Oh, do you have one you recommend?
Yeah. Smart MSX. This thing. And they get all the balls. And there's a little guide, and it's cool to make methane and show the kids.
What? Tell me the name of it again.
It's this Smart Snat.
Snat.
What the fucking stupid name? This
Snat MSO. Yeah, I need to get that for my kids. We've been doing so much, trying to do so much periodic table stuff. We watched a few videos on moles. They hate me. That set us back.
You got it. You really need to keep it entertaining.
Yeah.
Have you done the Red Nile thing?
No,
I don't understand why not. Why can't I get you to look at that?
I will. I'm gonna do it
One of the
right now.
only things I've ever shown my kids where I've got Reason, Robbie, Riley, and Rhett going, play that again.
Oh, Nile Red.
Nile Red.
Okay,
Nile Red.
got it. I'm gonna send the link right now. Go ahead. Okay.
The Texas ATF watched that, I heard, which I thought was cute. Yeah, sparking an interest in chemistry is pretty cool, and it's such a good discipline.
Why didn't you watch the State of the Union? You just don't care,
About the State of the Union.
or I don't know. You're not entertained by Trump.
Yeah, I think I watched too much during the week.
Okay. I can't believe I can't find this. My Twitter feed was full of it this morning, and now it's not showing me any of it. You have to see the Dems party.
The shit he says is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the best I can find right now, but this is it. See this thing on the bottom here? Let me see what.
I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat as a president. Just don't do that. Don't do that. Respect the office, regardless who's in that. And now for me, it's like now when half the people in my
that's their party. That's their party that they were having during the State of the Union. They had like stuffed animals. People were dressed up in the audience.
Is he going to leave the Democratic Party?
Fetterman? I don't know. I hope not. We need him over there being sane.
He's truly a medical miracle.
He is.
Never even heard of anyone having a stroke and coming out a lot smarter.
I hate how much I judged him before. Oh, here it is. I found it. Here it is. Here's their thing. This is real what I'm about to show you. At least according to my friends.
Over absurdity, over us being ourselves, over me singing songs like, "Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, get rid of brown people for me. I'm Aryan white. There ain't no place I'm going to." And then all of a sudden, he's not ready for primetime player ice in Portland.
That was their alternate to the State of the Union. It's just. Hey, are you watching what's happening here in California? We might not have a Democrat.
Explain my AOC thing again.
Please, yes, go ahead.
And because I brought it up to Emily, and she, of course, I don't think listened when I was talking about it last time. But she says, you have a weird thing for her. And I go, no, I don't at all. I don't. The weird thing everyone has for her is if you deny she's hot, it puts you in kind of an odd place. But what happens is that if we can just all agree she's hot, then we can get to the next question, would be like, what else has she got? And the answer is nothing. She's nowhere near articulate. She's not funny. She's not well versed on the issue. She doesn't even know where Venezuela is on the fucking map. Someone needs to tell her what the word paradox means. She's a fucking idiot, a complete fucking idiot. So is Gavin. These people are fucking stupid.
And AOC is the fourth leading runner for a Democratic presidential nomination.
Dangerously stupid. Kamala, another one. But until you admit that Gavin's good looking, you have no way to explain or understand him. But that is their attributes. That's all they have. That's all he's got. And it's probably enough to make them president and vice president.
He's running at 19%, Kamala 18%, Buttigieg at 15%, and AOC at 13%.
Yeah, and that somehow would end up at 54% of the popular vote.
Did you see Stephen A. Smith on Bill Maher?
No, but I've heard he's going to run for president.
Well, they were looking at the polling numbers, and Bill Maher goes, "Hey, there's something here that can't be right." And Stephen A. Smith goes, "What?" And he goes, "Pete Buttigieg has 0% approval rating from the black community, Democrats." And Stephen A. Smith is just stoic, and he's like, "You never see 0. How can it be 0?" And Stephen A. Smith is like, "Hey, man, he doesn't do anything for us. I'm going to leave it at that." Just like, holy shit. 0. He's running at 0% with melanated voters who like equatorial voters. I'm just like, holy shit.
And why?
Stephen A. Smith said he wouldn't touch it. He just said, "Hey, he doesn't do it for us."
Yeah, well, what is the answer?
The assumption is that he's gay. I mean, he's dumber than a box of rocks too. He's a coward. He's a wordsmith. He's the best speaker out of the bunch.
My father had 2 things that I heard repeatedly as a kid that really stuck with me. And one is he said that the Republican Party is the party of the advantaged and the halved and the rich, and just admit all that. And the Democrats are the party of the downtrodden, have-nots, and the poor and underserved. And he says that's all true, and they both have proven plans for increasing their numbers. The Republicans will make more rich people, more people that have.
Yeah, that's very well said.
More people poor and have-nots.
Yeah.
It's the goal. That's
wow.
That's what they're doing. Just roll with it. You know? And the other thing he said is that liberalism was arrested intellectual development. It's a retarding, how about that, of your intellectual development.
Intellectual or emotional retardation? It's a low emotion.
It has, even if it has emotional origins, the effect is one of to retard your intellectual development.
There was a video yesterday that
it prohibits you from recognizing when solutions are exacerbative of a problem. You ever heard exacerbate used like that before?
Yeah, I have. That's one of my favorite words, exacerbate. I'm going to show you. Let me show you this video. The irony, this goes to the point of exactly what you're saying. And what's crazy is this is on CNN even. Okay, listen to this.
New York is really a prime example of a problem Democrats seem unwilling to confront. Blue cities are out of control, promising more, spending more, delivering less, and pushing off the fiscal problems to some future day. Take Los Angeles, another one-party metropolis wrestling with affordability and disorder. The city's homelessness budget for fiscal year 2025-26 totals about $950 million.
It doesn't include federal funding.
The LA Homelessness Services Authority reported that in 2023, homelessness was up 9% countywide and 10% in the city. And a 2024 AP account noted that homelessness has surged 70% countywide since 2015 and 80% in the city. All this amid public frustration despite billions spent. An audit reviewed $2.4 billion in city homelessness funding and found that officials could not reliably track where it went or what it achieved. Or take Chicago, with a mayor whose approval rating is deep underwater, where the pension promises are so large that they will surely bankrupt the city at some point. What is the theory of good government here? If the answer is keep adding programs, the city will keep producing unaffordability, because unaffordability is what happens when government becomes a machine that grows faster than the society it governs. Zoran Mamdani's basic instinct is correct. Focus on affordability, especially housing, but not by providing government subsidies. These only seem to have driven up the cost of rent, as subsidies naturally do. the city's rental assistance spending rose from $263 million in fiscal year 2020 to $1.34 billion in the most recently reported fiscal year.
This is the intellectual failing, right?
Yeah.
Like they just can't see they've been doing the same thing for 30 years and it's not working.
I was going to use the example of in my offering of arrested intellectual development. Liberals can do nothing intelligent with the economic reality that rent control creates slums. And I use that example because Milton Friedman said you can't find an economist that doesn't understand that. But he says, but I can also name economists that will stand up and argue for rent control for politicians. But you get them in private, have a glass of wine with them, go, like, it's going to create slums. You know that. Even the ones that push it know it.
Where all the crime is in Santa Cruz, in Section 8 housing. It's where it all is if you look at the police blotter.
Rent control creates slums. Rising minimum wage removes the bottom rungs of the ladder and creates chronic unemployment in the low-skilled set. In California, your McDonald's cheeseburger is pretty soon going to come out of an exhaust pipe when you pre-order it with your iPhone. There'll be one of the little zit-faced kids in there.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
I don't know if you saw the footage yesterday, but there were these two police officers in, I think it was Washington Square in New York City, and they were getting pummeled by snowballs by a crowd. And you can hear the crowd yelling, "You fucking bitches," and just drilling them. And you can tell the cops are not having fun. And they're surrounded by men, right? They're surrounded by what looks like 100 men pelting them. Two of the men had to go to the hospital. They had lacerations on their face, right, from rocks being put inside the snowballs. And yesterday, Mamdani addressed it, and they asked him, "Are you going to press charges?" And he goes, "On what? A snowball fight?" He goes, "Hey, man, I watched the video. It's just a fun snowball fight." And I'm thinking to myself, you aren't going to let these police protect themselves, and yet you expect them to protect us. And the thing is that that's the reality. Mamdani sees it as just a snowball fight. Like, we're not looking at the same thing. Or we're looking at the same thing. Their perception is so biased. How are you letting a crowd of 100 men yell fucking bitch at cops and throw things at them and not pressing charges? He says, no, I'm not going to press charges. Two of the cops had to go. You can see one of the cops' eye is all swollen. It's fucking nuts. That video was one of the most embarrassing things I've seen in a while. It was horrible, dude. It was horrible. It was so embarrassing. I don't know how you stay a cop in New York City. The mayor thinks it's funny that 100 men, and the men are wearing masks, of course, right? Not the cops. In 250 years of Palmetto, we've created 450 plus government agencies, 425 from 1946 to 1995 alone. Hey, you know what else he said yesterday? Trump said, he said something, he slipped it in there very slyly. He said, hey, and I'm going to continue to do tariffs, and the goal is basically to get rid of U.S. income tax. That's take us back to, pre-1913.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Clock Cutter, he's not going to prosecute his foot soldiers. Yeah. When's your gig at your house?
4:00 tomorrow. And I wouldn't set the tone for this. It's a taco party at an epistemology bomb. I've said more on the show here today than I'm going to say to them. It's a gnarly accusation to say that the replication crisis sits at the foot of primary education. There's a defect in primary education that makes it possible. It's an odd thing that how intransigent Look at the confusion in the inverse article there. They talk about a study that was done where 100 physicians were asked, given the sensitivity, specificity, and prevalence of a condition, what the positive predictive value would be on a positive test. And the collective group, about 95% of them said 75%. And the answer is 7.5%. And this is something that I could teach any, if your kid can get into geometry class, I could show how to have not made that mistake. This is stuff that's being taught at seminars and symposia around the world. How to use Bayes' theorem to turn the sensitivity and specificity into a positive predictive value. It's something you can teach kids to do. But think of the horror of having that confusion.
And getting bad medical advice from 75% of doctors.
False positives are great business. It brings you in for another round of testing. And then at some point you go, it looks like you don't have it. And you've worried yourself sick and spent a fortune and probably had needles and cameras, and it's a trip. Bad medicine can be wildly profitable. We knew someone that went an alternative route in their cancer therapy, and it cleared, and they asked the oncologist, the physician treating the cancer, what now? And he's like, he had no idea. He'd never seen anyone get better. You're the first person whose bladder I didn't yank. Everyone else got the standard of care and died. I don't know what to tell you. Congratulations, we didn't kill you. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Your kids are, you only have one kid? The rest are out of town?
Just Riley, yeah.
Why didn't she go to Tahoe? Gymnastics?
She's got gymnastics practices this week for a meet this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
And her mom told her, that's okay. You can just, and she says, Mom, that's not how it works.
Well, Avi's been ecstatic because they've been communicating a shitload. Every time I go by the iPad, they're FaceTiming and chatting it up. So he's got her all to himself without the other kids. He's pretty excited.
She's great.
How is everything in? How's the weather there, by the way? Oh, how is the weather there? And then I got something to share with you.
Yeah, look.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. So I got a call late last night, of someone telling me that I guess what's that thing called that the NFL does every year? The combine. I guess the combine's going on right now. And I guess the owner of the Arizona Cardinals and the general manager were there. And I guess they were being interviewed. And I haven't seen it yet, but I guess for 10 or 15 minutes, they were like, hey, man, what we'd really like to do is get this quarterback from Chicago. Oh, by the way, did you hear Chicago Bears, the oldest franchise that's been in one city, is now leaving Chicago? They're moving to Indiana. It's because of Brandon Johnson. You're moving from one of the largest media markets in the world to Indiana. Anyway, I guess the Arizona Cardinals made a huge statement yesterday that they're looking for a quarterback, and they like the name Tyson Bagent a lot. Wouldn't that be cool if he moved into your hood?
I heard that.
God, that would be so cool.
Been communicating to Papa Bear about it.
You have been? Okay.
Yeah, I would.
What a great kid Tyson is. He's the best.
GM?
Say that again. The GM and the GM and I think the owner, or the GM and the coach, two of the top dogs, I can't remember the exact story, have been saying that I guess yesterday at the combine they had a chance to talk and they couldn't shut up about Tyson.
I have neighbors of owners and management to that organization.
He's so cool. What a great, person to have. I would love to have Mike. I would love to have him around my kids once in a while. He's a superstar. He's a gentleman, class act, hard worker.
I agree. He's an extraordinary young man.
Yeah, and he credits CrossFit to what put him over the edge and got him into the NFL as a non-drafted D2.
You see this? Did I show you this before?
That looks like the earth made of Play-Doh to me.
Yeah, Robbie made that. She goes, "Here, Dad, I made you your very own Earth."
Oh, she talks Ebonics, earth?
Yeah, it's an Earth.
That's cool.
It was a couple years ago. I've kept-
Tyson gonna get rich? God, I hope so.
Yeah, he deserves that. And how are you, David?
Yeah, how are you, Mr. Weed? I don't understand Mr. Weed at all. I saw him put a comment in there. Hey, show me your dog. Like he's the last person I ever thought would want to see my dog. Like, who wants to see my dog?
I'm curious.
It's just the dog that wakes up at 4 a.m. All right, so you're getting a honey badger. I got a wiener dog. You know what I'm gonna do, Greg?
I got a hedgehog.
Hedgehog. You know what I'm gonna do? In another year, it's a boy. I'm gonna get a female, and I'm gonna let my kids see all that shit go down and have puppies. Just because we had puppies on accident when I was a kid, and I just remember what a great experience it was. Being in the room when the mom birthed them and shit.
Jesus. I got an incubator full of quail eggs, and I don't know what we're gonna do when they hatch.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they go into a brooder.
Wait, how did you end up with a bunch of... Wait, explain that to me.
At what point do we give them to the cat?
No, you don't do that. What's the backstory on that? How did you end up with quail eggs?
Amazon?
You were Amazon recommended quail eggs in an incubator to you, so you got it for your kids?
Tina Thornton was talking about what a great thing it is and got the kids all fucking jacked up on it.
Will you send me a picture of it? Where is it? Is it by your piano? Is it in the piano wine room?
No, it's in the schoolroom, in the laundry room, on the classroom.
In the new facility?
Yeah, you want to see them?
Yeah, I would love to see them.
Again?
Yeah, that's cooler than a dog. Wow. Quail eggs in an incubator. What do you feed them when they're born? Just like a bowl of milk?
Yeah, quail food from Amazon.
Oh, right. Wow, that's crazy.
Look at the Bakar ladders.
Yeah, those are sick.
See the spinny gizmo? PVC over the wood.
Yeah. Level 10.
Rhett goes right to the top.
Does he use his feet?
No, you've got to keep your feet off the fucking thing, or you're going to fall on your head and break your neck. All right, here we go. Oh, they're on the wiggler again. I don't know what that's about.
Tilt it down a little bit. Oh. Oh, that's a lot of birds, dude. That's 11 birds.
They won't all hatch. And maybe with some luck, none will.
What, those tubes on the top, what are those? Just for air?
Water.
Oh, to keep it humid in there?
Yeah, it's 99.8 degrees and 74% humidity.
Wow, that's a crazy setup. What's the estimated birth date?
I don't know. It's close. We're looking every day thinking you're going to see a beak.
And what's the deal with when you get them, does it say what to do with them when they hatch? Like, are you supposed to let them go, or what do you do?
It's the next phase. They go to the brooder for some period of time.
What, can I see the brooder?
It's in a box. We're going to build, because they'll stay in the incubator for a period after hatching.
Oh my goodness, that thing is crazy. You got that on Amazon?
Yeah.
Amazon quail incubator.
Yeah, it rolls the eggs. You change the humidity to the different cycle.
Oh, they sell all sorts of egg incubators.
I think all your farming needs can be handled on Amazon.
And then I guess I've seen quail in your neighborhood. Can I do that, or do I need to know if quail can live in Santa Cruz first?
No, that they do. They're all over my property. Our mockingbirds have.
Did you buy did the eggs come with the incubator, or you got the incubator and you ordered the eggs from somewhere else?
They were both Amazon purchases.
This is crazy.
The Thornton kids hatched all kinds of shit.
Oh, my kids would go crazy. This is right up Joseph's
Cool,
Avenue. Yeah, it's so cool.
Hey, Sevi, have you played Buildsy?
No. What is that? Oh, it looks like those other blocks you gave me. That other game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think maybe even the same people. But you flip over a card and it's got a diagram on it, right?
Yeah.
And you have the pieces before you and it's a race to see who can build that. And it kind of requires two-handed placement and balancing, and some of them are kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to see a kid at 12 versus 7.
Yeah. So this looks like a schoolhouse. That is, you are looking at the room that he normally does the podcast in is the principal's office, and this is the
office.
headmaster's office, and this is the place where the kids meet the headmaster every day. Yeah, the Globe's sick. You got that in Portland, in Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge.
You should see it in the dark.
Let me see. Wheel it out. Is it on a table or is it on wheels?
It's on a platform.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
It glows, and it's big enough that the detail is remarkable. Look at the designer picked worthless periodic chart with no color. So can you see that?
Yeah.
Well enough.
It doesn't let you cheat and know which ones are the actinides versus the alkali. You have to know them.
Yeah. I just love this. It's the only reason it's still here. But there's a designer's periodic chart.
Yeah, you gave us something like that we use at home.
And then this is for someone who's actually interested in chemistry periodic chart. But the colors were bothering to the designer.
Oh, of the house?
Yeah.
Fuck practicality or effectiveness.
I said, you're a fucking chromophobe. And she's like, yeah, it's correct. Trippy. But she's cool. She's brilliant.
Yeah, the classroom looks incredible.
Hey, look at this practical kind of stuff. Like, look at the see the board behind the stove, the burners.
Yep, cutting board.
Yeah, that's a designer for you. I take that down. Should put it back.
You should get a cutting board that's a periodic table of elements.
It's funny, but that's just like, you've got a system there to burn the house down.
Leaving the cutting board there.
Just turn on the back burner and leave the room.
Hey, did you ever get the tungsten weights?
No. I want to still.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm going to renew my passport too. And go get photos taken.
Are you going somewhere?
I fucking hope not.
All right.
I'm going to the games.
Oh, San Jose.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bitching.
And I think I'm going to have a party at my house one of the nights that I don't want to hang out in San Jose, which would be any of the nights, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You want to play with that?
Yeah, 100%. I'm so down.
Is Sarah?
Yeah.
Why don't we just combine suites? Does she have a bunch of people she's bringing?
Oh, No, she to be honest with you, last year she got the suite and just came by herself and let me put my media guys in there. So no, she doesn't. She usually just comes with one or two people. I'll hit her up. I think Susan might know. Probably not supposed to say this. I think Susan might know the head director of that facility, and he got Sarah suite. I'll figure it out and put you in touch.
Dave hit me up and invited me to come, and I said, "Sure, I do that." San Jose? You kidding me?
Yeah, easy.
And I told him that he asked me if I wanted a suite, and I told him it was important to me to pay for it.
Yeah, I think Sousa just sometimes it's weird. Sometimes the suites and the events are like separated. Like I think that's how they were in Fort Worth. Like CrossFit didn't sell the suites. You had to contact the facility. Something weird.
Maybe I could do this for my house and just put it on the big telly.
No, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. All right.
The home theater is fucking great, by the way.
In the gym?
Yeah, the screen, the projector.
How's the audio?
Amazing, actually.
Have you watched anything in it?
Yeah, we've done a YouTube music deal, run through videos of stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, the KROQ documentary is fucking excellent.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah, I got 3 episodes that you can kind of peek at. I'd love you to take a look at that.
Yeah, please send it to me. It's not released yet? These are like just private links since you produced?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I was blown away.
Oh, good. How many episodes is it total?
I don't know, but they've already got. It looks like I'm certain to break even.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah.
Greg, when are we getting Greg back on Twitter? Yeah, that would be awesome. Who knows?
I should.
I know. I
talked to Elon. I wonder what of the old account I could get back. I did so well with that one.
Yeah.
I still got the record for most amount of revenue generated per character. Floyd 19 was a $200 million tweet.
Yeah. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
You're one of a kind. 20th games, Greg should be able to sit on the floor if he wanted to. 20th games.
It's fine. So it's funny. Going is even funny.
I know. To be honest with you, I'll be surprised. I don't believe you're going until I see you there. I could see you getting
bud.
I know, but I could see you getting a suite, and then I could see you one of the days you're supposed to go, and you're like, "Oh, I'll just go tomorrow," and then the next day you're supposed to go. And
you can fly from Watsonville.
Oh, to San Jose.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
You guys got Waymo yet?
Just fly over the hill? No.
Oh man, I don't. You know what? I don't think I'd do it in California. Someone will run in front of the car and stop it and put a gun to your head. There ought to be a Waymo special. So if someone runs in front of the car, it fucking greases them.
I was looking at the traffic accidents Waymo's had compared to people, and there's no comparison. Waymo's doesn't get in accidents, but one of the accidents that it had that people were complaining about was a little kid just ran right out in front of the Waymo. There was no possible way anyone could have not killed that kid.
Yeah.
But I was telling Haley, man, the technology's here for the Jetsons to be here. We just haven't adopted it. Yeah, there's no reason for anyone to drive if they don't want to anymore. The autonomous car is here.
I watch Waymo do things all the time that I cannot teach my wife to do.
She's a pretty good driver.
Good in that sense of
she can parallel park easy.
Yeah, I can explain a lot of that too. It's amazing. It's amazing the spaces you can get into if you really don't give a fuck if you hit or not. So there's that, right?
Confident. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But nothing but brake lights up ahead. Would you take the foot off the accelerator?
100%.
That's what I'd do. No, she'll take that into an emergency stop.
Like go straight to the brake pedal?
Just stay on the accelerator. 1001, 1002, 1003. I'm bringing my knees up and my hands are up. And I'm like, what are you going to do? And she said, we're good. And then it's, everyone's leaning forward as we come to a slowdown. I would just decelerate up to it, maybe even. Like I like to not use the brake if I can.
Me too. I avoid use. That's my main drive. That's one of the cornerstones of my driving philosophy. Never use the brakes. Using the brakes on the freeway makes you an asshole.
I can tell by watching cars in the parking lot if the person backing out of the parking place is male or female. You want to know how? It's a secret. It's one of the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, tell me.
Women put it in reverse until they can see the direction they want to go. Men back up until you can make the turn the other way.
Oh, so right.
I'll back out of the spot just enough so that now with a hard left, I'm going that way.
Right. Least intrusive to other people. You're making it clean.
Oh, I gotta let Riley.
Just do Craig's kids like laser tag? What are laser tags from the 80s? Is laser tag still around?
So this looks like a schoolroom, huh?
Yeah, it's insane.
It's fun.
Looks like the perfect classroom.
It is. Hi, baby. You hungry?
Yeah.
Skeet. You want to say hi to everyone?
Yeah.
Hi, Riley. What's up, girl? Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
I saw your quail eggs.
Oh, yeah. They look good, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so cool. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a wild experiment.
I heard you guys got a dog.
We did.
What type?
Last night. It's a wiener dog, a dachshund.
Oh.
Like a hot dog. Yeah. The boys are dying to show you. I can't believe they haven't called you already.
That's so cute.
Yeah. It's too small.
It's too
small. Yeah.
It's adorable.
Dude, I would have given you a dog.
Oh, gosh.
We have an extra one.
We would take Maisie.
Why do you think it's Maisie? Because the other one's cool.
All right. Thank you for coming on, buddy.
You're the best, man. Come visit. Come on out.
Okay, I will. Let me talk to Haley. Yeah,
and Mike for you. Do you want to come for tacos Thursday?
Let me talk to Haley. We just got this new dog.
Dude, see that's what and what you need is puppies.
But right. But you know what? The reason why I do like this dog is we can go anywhere with it. I was like, hey, I don't want it either needs to be a stay-at-home dog. I think my mom might even watch this dog. Anyway, I'll give you a call later today.
All right, pal. What color is it? Is it that typical dachshund? The like
yeah. He's like he looks
white?
like a Doberman. He's like the Doberman coat. Yeah, he's cool looking.
You should tell people it's Adobe.
Oh, maybe okay. I'll tell the kids it's Adobe.
Yeah, it's a Doberman Pinscher. I think we got burned.
Just dwarfed.
Yeah. All right, pal. Bye.
All right. Bye. Greg Glassman, ladies and gentlemen. I love Wednesdays. Great show. Okay. Wednesday. Oh man, so many shows coming up. Thursday show. Two shows Thursday. 2 shows Friday. At least 2 shows Friday. Saturday, Sunday. 2 shows Monday. Oh boy. Do I have any guests tomorrow? Trying to get Alexis Raptis on. Maybe I can get Colton on later today. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go nap already. I've been up for 5 hours. That's too many hours. Sevon, are you pumped for the open wad? No. Oh, I'm pumped to watch those guys do it. Hey, you know what's cool? I'll tell you this. Yesterday when I went to the hotel, I was at the hotel in the lobby waiting for the dog, and Jason and Dallin walked up, and they were so cool to my boys. made me love those guys like even more. It was pretty cool. They hung out for 10 or 15 minutes. And Corinne was there, Dallon's wife. She was great. It was awesome. The boys got to chop it up with them. Dallon and Jason were chatting them up, the boys. It was cool. I got it all on film. It'll be on the boys' vlog at some point. It was super cool. And then Colton came and they were ecstatic. They ran up to Colton and hugged him, and it was cool. It's sappy father shit, but it was cool. Like it was pretty unreal for my kids. I mean, in my mind, for my kids to get to meet those three. I think they had met them before. But it was pretty cool. And I introduced Jason as the fittest man on the planet, and Dallon said, it resets Thursday, bud. I was like, all right. Dallon was great. It was good. We get it. Memories for them forever. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, I'm done. All right. Bye. I'll see you guys. I don't know when I'll see you guys. Wieners pee on everything. Oh, great. He hasn't peed in the house once. He started taking a shit, and I grabbed him. And as I was taking him out, a little pellet fell out into the entryway. My wife was on it. Hello.
Bob, Sam with Patrick Bet David team. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not too much. We're just reaching out to the audience to get some feedback. Did you have a moment?
Yeah, I'm live on the air. Do you mind being live on the air with me?
Live on the air.
Live on the air. I love Patrick Bet David. He's my favorite Armenian.
What's the name of your podcast?
The Sevon Podcast.
The Sevon Podcast.
Patrick's been on the show before, and I'm sure you knew that. I'm joking. He has been on it, but I don't expect you to know.
Let's see here. Sevon Podcast. We got it. Right now.
By the way, when you call, it says spam, and so usually I'll answer spam calls to do a bit. You know what I mean? Like just to fuck with the person. So it's kind of crazy that it's the Patrick Bet David show. I'm not even sure if I believe you yet. But you sound high testosterone, like someone that would work with Patrick Bet David. Your voice has swagger. Your voice has swagger.
I appreciate that. And I got your podcast. I feel like I've actually seen you on YouTube before.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, so for us, we're just reaching out to the audience. How long have you been watching Patrick for?
Oh, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. I don't know. I can't even believe I've been on the air 5 years. I don't know how long. Time has just flown by. Maybe 5 years. I don't know.
You think it was before the pandemic or after the pandemic you started watching?
Good question. Probably, maybe during. You know what I mean? When everyone was kind of looking for sane people, it was probably during. That it was like, oh shit, here's this cat gets it. Like he's not taking these government mandated drugs.
Right. Is that kind of what got your interest in watching to begin with?
Yeah, and I'm interested in successful people and people who are logical, and obviously, my DNA, my loins, gravitate towards him because he's a big Armenian man, you know what I mean? And I'm Armenian, and I just love the dude. He's great, and he's logical, and the cast and crew is pretty cool. It's got a little bit of, you know what I mean? You got the smart old guy on there, and then you got the more hyper vigilant, less logical other two cats. The guy who looks like he's juiced up with his hair slicked back. And then the other guy, the libtard guy, and then you got Patrick like moderating it. I just love all that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have to jump into a meeting. Let's follow up. I can call you later on today, probably around 6 p.m.
Anytime, buddy.
Good?
Hey, you should text me first, because if you don't mind, because I almost never pick up my phone. And like I said, your phone number came in spam. So will you just text me first so I know I can pick up?
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good podcast.
Bye. That was weird. Patrick Big, Sevy Small. Patrick Big, Sevy Small. Patrick Big, Sevy Small. He's huge. The fuck is he Armenian? The fuck is that guy Armenian? I'm small for an Armenian. I'm like they have cave dwellers in Armenia. I'm like one of those. Oh man, I have so much to read. Um, all right. I wonder if Patrick remembers coming on. That's a good question. How does he know I'm a listener? That was weird. All right, guys. I guess the dog will show up on my kid's vlog at some point. I'm not bringing his ass in here until he's potty trained. Miss Olivia, that was CNN trying to figure out why Republican podcasts are taking over the internet. I didn't get to see the second part of the State of the Union, but it was pretty funny. I was thoroughly entertained. Thoroughly entertained. All right. Let me see if I can get we need to do an oppressed conservative show. By the way, Gazan gummies, I think they're available now. And I don't normally do CBD, but when I do the late night shows, I always take 2 of these right after the show is done. Taylor live at 4 p.m. on CF Network should be juicy. Oh, okay. Yeah, what I know. A response to the response to the what? I'm done. I'm done. We did it. Listen, all I know, I'll tell you this with 100% certainty. With 100% certainty, I bet 2 inches of my cock on it that Tyler was never kicked off of Kill Taylor. I never saw his feedback the first time. I saw him. He angrily shared his feedback the second time. That's fine. I'm more than happy with feedback. I will tell you this. There is and I've told you guys this before. People's contribution intellectually needs to be commensurate to just their overall contribution. Do you know what I mean? So I'll explain to you. I had this. This is when I first got the job with CrossFit. I wanted to get a job with CrossFit, and I told them I would make a movie for them, and or maybe I'd already been there a year or two. It was Every Second Counts, and I had a buddy who I worked with, and I would say I did 90% of the work, and he did 10% of the work. And when we were going to make the movie, 90% of the ideas were coming from him, and 50% of them was victim shit, like limitations, arguing our own limitations of why we could or couldn't make them, or why we couldn't make the movie, why we were biting off more than we could chew. And I didn't appreciate that. I want it's like this. This is the Sevon podcast, and it's like, it's my show. I defer, like, if Sousa says something to him, because he does so much fucking work on the back end. If he's like, hey, the color should be blue for the new show, I'll be like, okay. I don't offer any input on that because I don't do any work there. I don't speak to the, when Patrick Rios is like, hey, what do you think about this music? I say, what do you think about it? I'm not interested in fucking inserting my opinion where I'm like doing none of the fucking heavy lifting. Now, when it comes to choosing the microphone, it talks about what time to do the show at 7 a.m. and what guests to get on and that, like, I'm all in that shit. because I'm working so hard every single night. I don't know if working hard, but I'm spending hours every night preparing for every single show, just in case a guest doesn't show up, in case a guest, whatever happens. I'm preparing and preparing and preparing. That's my domain. And so, you guys all have those people in your life who are inserting all sorts of fucking opinions who aren't fucking doing shit. And so there has to be that balance. And usually those people are like arguing limitations, or they're coming up with ideas that are completely impractical or not taking in the bigger picture. Your wife's yelling at you to fucking go outside and mow the lawn. She's never fucking mowed the lawn before. And the grass is soaking wet, and it's going to destroy the fucking lawn. She's like, but so-and-so is coming over, mow the lawn. And you're like, she has no fucking idea because she's never fucking mowed the lawn. And so now her idea is wasting your time. And so your ideas have to be commensurate with your fucking the participation that you've had. And so, it's like all these fucking people had all this advice for Greg. And no one had ever built or done what he had done ever in the world before. Yeah. I like that mentality. So when I'm the same way at work, when my assistant requests it, I just say yes. I don't want to deal with the side shit. Yeah, there's a whole world that Susan knows that I just don't push back on. Like if he's like, hey, we need to use QuickBooks, or we need to stop paying this guy, or we need to pay this guy. Like I'm not like, are you sure? Or like I just be a soundboard for him and let him work through whatever he's thinking. Or I try to be. I'm not there to fucking express my opinion. And I have opinions. I just swallow them down. I just push them down. It's just stuff that's going to slow down the train. But a huge part of it is trust. And so I watched the Tyler and Hiller thing. I got secondhand embarrassment. I was embarrassed for both of them. It reminded me of an Annie and Katrin podcast. They ran out of information in the first like 3 minutes. Tyler's I understand it. Maybe Hiller was hurt. Hiller grandstanding saying he makes videos to help people. Sorry, bro. Either you're psychotic or you're crazy, because those videos that you made about Brian weren't there to help Brian, dude. Sorry, dude. Or if they were to help Brian, like, hey, I'm going to tiptoe away from you. I don't really want your help. I don't need to have my fucking whole being fucking assassinated twice on the internet. And then someone say, oh, I was just trying to help. I'm just giving feedback. Like, hey, like, I don't know if his perspective is jacked up, or I sure as hell don't. That shit ain't gonna help. That shit wouldn't help me. And then I watched the show he did with Brian, and he goes, Brian, what did you think about that part where what do you think about the part where I cut that in that video that I made about you? I cut it with that Dexter scene where I talked about your entrails like falling out on the ground. And he's looking at Brian in the face. I'm like, holy shit, this isn't healthy. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Hiller has turned into the Godfather. I know. He turned into the guy. I know. I shouldn't have even opened this door. I know. Adam, I know. The irony, it's wild. He is a very logical human being, but something, I don't know. Maybe he really does think he's Batman. I thought it was a joke. I don't know. Thought it was just a fun, yeah, probably end now. Yeah. I don't want to fight with Hiller. All right. Yeah, that part was great. Yeah. I don't know. I just can't. I've never thought what it. I'll tell you this in my own personal life. And I've said this before on this show, not in a long time, but there's people in your life who will help you. And if you're like someone's washing your car and you notice, oh, they're dry washing it and they're scratching the paint, and you're like, hey, dude, could you not do that to my car? You're scratching the paint. And they get mad at you and they're like, but I was fucking trying to help you. And I always thought, wow, what is that in someone? Like, you think you're trying to help me? And but clearly you weren't trying to help me. Because if you're trying to help me, you'd be cool. Sorry, someone called. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit of that vibe there. The funny part is, yeah, I know here it's all the irony. I know. It's all the irony. The funny part is that Hiller made the Brian Friend video because Brian was telling him what to do and it got him mad. Now he's doing. I know the whole thing, the when you zoom out and you start thinking about how it unfolded and dragging Tyler into it on that was just weird. He should have left Tyler alone. Hiller's a fucking the Incredible Hulk or the Thing, and Tyler is not, and Tyler should not be drug into it. It's like my wiener dog. You don't like, some people are made for this shit and other people like aren't. Like, you don't want people just getting trampled. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'm sure we'll all blow over and we'll all be friends again. All right. We're still friends. We're still friends. It's not that we're not friends. It's just I have shitloads of opinions on how this thing is unfolding, and like part of me wants to just talk about it because it would be so fun and it would make such fun content. But another part of me is like, I think it's like real for some people. And you know, I spent a lot of time with these guys and really enjoyed their company. I've had some great times with Tyler, great times with Hiller. Really enjoyed their company. I get like, I have no personal experience with them that's bad. Zero. I can't think of one personal experience that was even medium. All my personal experiences were great. A blast. No, it's not real. It's definitely real, dude. No. The leak in our roof when we all stayed in the same house together that came from the 3rd floor through the 2nd floor to the 1st floor, that was real. All right. Love you guys. You're having issues with your Twitter live stream. And the thing that concerns me, I'll tell you this. Here's the thing that concerns me. Hiller makes these videos, and then, of course, he's curating all the haters into one place, right? If you look at the comments, it's people who just, like, no one's listening. It's like the Democrats. Like, no one's listening to what Hiller's saying. They're just excited that Hiller and Taylor have some sort of disagreement. So anyone who hates Taylor is gravitating to Hiller. And those are not the people Hiller wants as his audience. I know, like, that will end up rotting his soul and ruining his channel. And those are not the people you want, because eventually those people turn on you too. He's curating. I hope he's not confused by what the results of what he's going to end up with are. And the irony is he says he doesn't like politics. The entire thing he's doing is playing a political game. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. Yeah, I don't even care about the Kill Taylor stuff. Kill Taylor was intended to have a funny vulgarity to it. Why the fuck did he get involved in the first place? Well, what's really weird is that, and this is probably my fault, Tyler didn't think it was a comedy show. He thought it was a fitness show. It's like, hey, dude, it's like, maybe it's both, but definitely a strong 50% jackass component. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's incorrect, dude. People see both sides. No, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong, dude. I'm telling you. I went through all the comments. He's curating. It's like he's curating all the people that the absolute the people you don't want following you are the people he's curating. I'm telling you. Hey, dude, I'm old enough to know. I've seen it a million times. I hate to use that line, but I've seen it a fucking million times. I know exactly how this all plays out. Hey, dude, there's Hiller's not. There's been other people. There's a whole plethora of people who've gone through what he's going through. Bluetooth. Hey, what's up? We'll end the show with you. Go ahead.
Hope it's working. Maybe it's working.
Oh, we had a panel last night. Everyone saw both sides. Oh, okay. I'm glad you had a panel.
Maybe it's working.
Okay, it's working. Hey,
Maybe it's not working.
what's up, dude?
Yeah, don't say who it is. Quick question though. Real fast, and people can assume with the conversation you were having with Greg earlier with the homeschooling thing.
Oh, yes.
I was so we're teaching Luke in Spanish, right?
Yeah, boy.
Right. So I bought the curriculum that Greg was talking about because I think you sent it to me a while back, and now we're like, wait, so should we just teach him in Spanish? Because he knows Spanish and English at this point. Like my wife the other day, they were talking about colors and numbers. I'm like, dude, I didn't teach him anything. I'm pretty sure my wife taught him everything.
That's how I feel too. My wife taught my kids everything.
Exactly. But what do you recommend? Do you think like shit? Should we like teach him actual curriculum in English or just like fuck it, Spanish it is? Because everyone says, oh, he'll get it in school. He'll get it in school. He'll get it in school. Well, newsflash.
Yeah. Hey, do they sell that curriculum in Spanish?
I just looked on the website after y'all talked about it, and they only have a few books. They have like an introductory. They don't have like the full thing. So that's my like shit. Should I?
Dude, I would do both as much as you can. I think the two greatest gifts you can give kids is musical language and a second foreign language. And my reasoning for that has changed over the years because at some point you'll hopefully realize that language is all fucking witchcraft and casting spells. And I think if you know two languages, you have a greater chance of understanding that as you get older.
Yeah, I mean,
so I would push the Spanish. He's gonna learn English, dude. There's no fucking stopping it, right? I don't know. I would push Spanish at all costs if I could.
Yeah, because I mean, my wife talks to him in only Spanish, and I talk to him in a little bit of Spanish and English, and he understands English. He understands Spanish. My thing was like, okay, if we're gonna start getting into this whole actual teaching him actual curriculum and homeschooling, which one would benefit? But it's just one of those shit.
How old is he?
18 months.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, it's a little motherfucker.
That's awesome.
Second part. So it's actually funny that you said what you said about language.
Yeah.
Right. I had a conversation. Remember that guy that I talked to you about? That the first time they met me, they took a picture with me and said, "Hey, I'm going to send this to Sevon."
Yes.
Because it'll get him upset.
Yeah.
I like how that individual says, "Be careful about CrossFit affiliating with other brands." Yet he was willing to affiliate with us, knowing that I'm affiliated with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Say that again. I lost you for a second. Careful how you what? I lost you. Shit, I lost you. Okay, say that again. Sorry, I lost you.
How one person is basically talking out of both sides of their mouth. How one person will say, "Hey, I'm pointing the finger at this company for being in a relationship with this person or this other company that I don't think their values align," when the same person was willing to have a relationship with us.
Yeah.
Or with me.
Yeah.
Knowing that the impetus of the conversation that they had with me wasn't even about me. It wasn't even about getting to know me. It was about trying to get at you, which is crazy.
Crazy.
But anyway,
waste of energy, waste of time.
And then with everything, I guess that's going on, I guess my only 2 cents is like language. I had a conversation with someone. I say sorry a lot. And people think, oh, don't say sorry, don't say sorry, don't say sorry. I go, no. The reason why I say sorry to people a lot is it disarms them. It makes them think. I use language as a form to manipulate people. So if I say something that's super inflammatory and I get a reaction, I know, okay, words can manipulate you. Let's say, right?
Yeah.
You say, I call Travis an old man, right? And he gets offended. Now I know that I can use words to manipulate you.
Yeah.
If I know that I can use words to manipulate you, I also know that I can use them in my favor. Like if I use the N word, and it elicits an emotion, I know that you are manipulated by words. And like you said, words are witchcraft, correct?
And the most easily offended are the most easily manipulated.
And you can sugarcoat it and you can curtail it and you can say, oh no, it's because I want this. It's because it reaches more people. It's because, hey, watch your language because my kids are watching it. I will sit my kid down next to me and I'll have him watch everything and teach him as a parent, teach him when it's appropriate to use those words and when it's appropriate to not use those words. Yesterday, my kid wanted a piece of bread and I was like, let him have the piece of bread. I said, okay, cool. Before you put that piece of bread in your mouth, I'm going to give you a banana. Can you please do me a favor and open the banana? Hey, can you please give me a piece of that banana? He gave me a piece of that banana. He tried to give me a piece of the bread. I said, no, thank you. He tried to give me a piece of bread again. I said, no, thank you. He then got it into his head. Hey, my dad wants a banana. Pause. I should be eating the banana and not the piece of bread. I didn't limit him and say, no, you can't have the piece of bread. I said, no, give it to him. Let him make the choice. And yes, I influenced it. But at the end of the day, that is better than me just saying, no. Third thing, remember the conversation I had about that one individual who brought the assassination of someone up because he wasn't getting his way in a conversation he was trying to have with me?
Yep.
Would anyone in this chat ever associate or want to have a conversation with someone who, because they are getting emotional, because they cannot cohesively reach someone or their argument is total dog shit, invoke the name of someone that recently got assassinated to try to prove their point? Yeah,
I'm with you.
That is crazy. It is so crazy that it's not crazy, actually. It's actually very, very apropos that everyone has this facade. And what's happening now is based on, not everyone has the big picture. Everyone just has little snippets. Everything is just little snippets of what's going on. If everyone showed their true nature to everyone, it'd be so easy for people to make decisions.
Well, yeah, and then you'll curate the right people around you that you want. That's the thing. People think that they're getting away with something when they're being dishonest, but you're really just curating a problem for later on that you're going to have to deal with. Just be honest.
Exactly. Just tell the truth. At the end of the day, if you just tell the truth and you have nothing, that's why I tell the reason. I had this conversation with one of my liberal friends from Seattle. He goes, hey, Gabe, why don't you try to adjust your language? I go, hey, man, I speak the way I speak. Like, I'm not going to be a bigot. I'm not going to be an asshole to someone. But at the same time, I'm not going to have my voice censored. Remember the first time we had a conversation, I said, hey, Sevi, I want to support you because you're giving a platform for people to just speak, whether it's Pat who has his thoughts or whether it's someone else in this chat that has their thoughts.
Right.
And it is what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of figured out who CrossFat was now. So there we go. And
text me that information.
And yeah, I mean, it is, and it is what it is. I mean, people can make their decisions. That's 100% okay. But everyone is making decisions without really seeing the full picture. And people are just being for lack of a better word, two-faced. People are talking out of both sides of their mouth, and it is what it is.
Thank you.
Talk to you.
Love you, buddy. Hey, we'll have a seat in the it sounds like we're gonna have a nice VIP suite at the games. You're more than welcome.
I appreciate it, but I think I'm gonna stay back with the kid. It'll be his like 2 years old birthday party or something. I can't miss that. I don't want to miss that.
All right. If you come here, we can have it at my house.
I appreciate that.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I don't even know. We will never know who told the truth. I don't even know. No one even knows what the fuck you're talking about. What are you talking about? Who told the truth? Hiller, Tyler, or Taylor? I don't even know. Like what? How old Hiller is? How tall Taylor is? What was the exact date that Tyler shaved his head? No one has any fucking clue what you're talking about. You're a fucking drama queen, CrossFit. A complete drama queen. You're a douchebag. Do you know you're a douchebag? You are a douchebag on the internet. That's truly what you are. You're a douchebag on the internet. You can put that in your resume next time you apply for a fucking job. Graduated from Stanford, douchebag on the internet. All right. I'll give you 1 second to respond. I know. I hate saying it. Hearing you say CrossFit is funny. I know. All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.